Okay, so here's the thing we're not considering.
Okay.
We're always like, Selena can't be the best assassin. What if all the other assassins legitimately suck?
And we're back with chapter 42. Mort chuckled when she staggered through the tomb door. Witch Slayer are you? Another lovely title to add to your repertoire.
Mort?
Mort. Yes, it is Mort once again. How do you know about that? She asked. Wait a second. Okay, so this quotation ended with a question mark. So one would suspect the next sentence would begin with a capital, but it didn't. It just said sheep. But I'm not entirely... I get a little confused with, like, convention around quotations. I feel like if it is, like, a full stop, like a period, or a question mark, because that's a full stop, you'd capitalize. I'm trying to find one where she didn't then start with a name, which is surprisingly hard.
Really, though? Surprising?
Oh my gosh, it keeps being names. How about let someone ask a question and then not state their name? And don't finish the paragraph.
Making my way downtown, walking fast.
This is challenging. I don't know if I'm going to find it easily. This is surprisingly challenging. I am surprised. You know what? I don't think Maas knows what to do in this situation, so she's been avoiding it.
Making my way downtown.
The editors don't know what to do. They've been avoiding it.
Walking fast, faces pass, and I'm homebound.
My excuse for that is I'm free and for fun. Also, I don't avoid it. I just do whatever I want, which is definitely not right. But that's okay, because it's free and fun. Yeah, no, I'm not going to find it. I went significantly far. Anyways, so I'm surprised this is not capitalized. Anyways, how do you know that? She asked, setting down her candle. She'd already burned her bloodied clothes. Did you burn them, my lady, in the oven?
Yeah.
And she just walked back in the nude?
She is relying on the power of the social... not Sigma, but like the social law to not look. She's like, I can get down naked and do anything. Everyone just won't look at me. They can't be the one who looks, so they're gonna look away. Everyone is gonna look away.
And they've all gotten used to this with Roland, so...
Yeah.
They had
people would actually think she was actually Roland and not some naked person if she put a dagger around her waist.
Yeah. They probably both are blonde, too. They had reeked as they burned. No duh. M-dash reeked like rotting flesh, just as Yellowlegs had. Fleetfoot had growled at the fireplace. So she brought it all the way into her room and tried to herd Selena away by pressing her body against her legs. That dog don't know how to herd. We all know border collies herd with eyesight. But stare at you until you're too uncomfortable. Chihuahuas herd by biting, as do healers.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ankles. I don't know of any other herding method.
See, I mean, I guess if a cow, there's not many other places you could reach if you're a dogger, right? Mm-hmm. But it seems like if you bite the ankles, they're gonna get kicked.
Yeah, you gotta dart back fast. You still want to utilize flight circles.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at you.
I'm gonna look at you. And the sheep go, oh my goodness, he's looking at me, what do I do? Guys, what do we do? And then they sleep. But very calmly, because they understand how to work with the dog. Hopefully. Oh, I can smell her on you, Mort said. Smell her fury and wickedness. Selena peeled back the collar of her tunic to show...
Of course she was wicked. God forbid a witch just eat people.
God forbid. God forbid it. He literally did. That's what they wanted to
Show me your wiggly feet.
I'm not showing anyone my wiggly feet. But that's because Selena showed the little cuts where Yellowlegs' nails had pierced the skin right over her collarbone. She'd cleaned them out, but had a feeling they would leave marks. True, marks have already been left. A necklace of scars. What do you make of those? Mort winced. They make me grateful I'm made of bronze. Will they harm me? You killed a witch, M. and you're now marked by a witch. It will not be the usual sort of wound.
Damn it, they killed her!
Not answer her questions.
They killed her! Why did they kill her? My baby girl!
Literally just her baby girl. Mort's eyes narrowed. You understand that you may have just landed yourself in a heap of trouble. Selena groaned. How vexing for her. Baba Yellowlegs was a leader, M. a queen to her clan. Mort went on. When they destroyed the Crochan family, they joined with the Blackbeaks and the Blue Bloods in the Iron Teeth Alliance. They still honor those oaths. But I thought all the witches were gone, M. Scattered to the winds. So not gone.
Are they gone or are they scattered?
They're not gone, they're scattered. And scattered people can still show up.
Sometimes
Selena.
in the most unlikely of places.
Like a carnival. Or your bed.
Or your wiglet!
Gone, the Crochans and those who followed them have been in hiding.
How do they spell Crochan?
Crochan. Does it sound like something else?
Cro-Magnon.
Cro-Magnon? So what are you looking about the Crochan? Tell us about the Crochan witches.
Crochan witches!
Tell us where you're getting this from. Cite your sources.
This is throneofglass.fandom.com/wiki/Cronin.
Fandom wiki, gotcha.
_ witches.
It is fandom wiki, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Cronin witches are a race of witches, the offspring of
Wait, I thought you said a waste of witches.
They're pathetic. Of Valg and Fae, who once ruled over the Witch Kingdom before falling to the Iron Teeth. The Cronin witches are described as peaceful and beautiful, taking after their Fae ancestors, but are talented and dangerous warriors. It's always beautiful, but deadly. God forbid you're just mediocre and deadly.
God forbid you're beautiful and mediocre. Unless you're specifically not friends with Selena.
When the Valg broke into the world, witches did not exist. It was the Valg and the Fae and humans. But the Valg wanted the world for their own, and they thought a good way to do would be to ensure their offspring could survive there.
Wait a second, is this really how it's written?
Well, I'm doing my Maas voice.
No, but like, I don't know. I'm considering that to the stuff I've read from like Silm Wiki, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dang, you can tell that the writers of this read this book and write like this book.
Humans were
that
not...
was rude of me, I'm sorry.
It was. But humans were not resilient enough to breed with, but the Fae were much stronger.
Say more.
Say more. And the Valg began kidnapping and breeding them. Their offspring became the first witches. The witches had different traits and could be categorized into two different species.
Oh my gosh, this is just like what the Valoru did in the Krondor stories.
The Iron Teeth took after their Valg ancestors more and were more took after the Valg ancestors more and were more demonic and vicious, while the Crochan witches got more of the Fae traits.
All right, I've
the
had
witches
enough.
existed long before the First Valg War, but by the time of the fight against the Valg, the Crocans fought with Brannon, Galathinius, and the people of Aurelia.
All right.
After the war, blah, 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 blah,
if
blah.
If I hear any more, I'm just going to get more irritated.
Yeah, wow.
There's just too many sounding names and events to other fantasy books. I'm not saying she copied these other fantasy books. I'm just saying it's not very original and kind of tropey, probably. Because that's basic. Okay, the Valaru did not directly
references. All of these references come from Kingdom of Ash, which I think is the next chapter.
Dang, they could have
Shout
gotten
out.
some of that from this one because, let me tell you, we've read some of that stuff already.
Shout out,
Single source? Huh, you got a point. You can't even make a line between those sources. Oh my gosh, The Walking Dead is mentioned again. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get back to it.
What is this from? Who is this from? Listen, all I can say is whatever BC this is, it's not big enough.
Oh, because someone's hand is on it? Abraxas?
Is this one of the wyverns that kept getting hyped up to me?
It looks like it. Disgusting.
Yo, whatever. Who gives a shit? I can't give a shit anymore.
All right, where are we?
Yeah, species wyvern.
Gone. The Crochans and those who follow them have been in hiding for generations.
Oh my goodness. Wait, pause. I'm getting hyped up. The wyverns. You'll love the next book because of the wyverns.
They don't understand you.
Look how big the whole section is, so.
Dang.
How am I supposed to be able to get hyped up?
It's a paragraph. Even the fandom wiki doesn't get hyped up.
Wyverns are dragon-like creatures with 2 back legs and large, leathery, membranous wings.
Wait. Leathery, membranous wings?
Tipped with a poison-slick talon that acts like a set of front limbs. It is a set of front limbs.
Do you not know what limbs are?
They were created by the Valg with the purpose of acting as aerial mounts for the Iron Teeth Riches. The Valg the wyvern have a rectangular head and long curved fangs.
Sounds like this is exactly the description they got in the book.
The talons on their back legs can reach the size of a person's forearm, and tails are long as their body as long as their body is armored with venomous spikes.
Woo!
Who
wrote this? Who didn't edit it?
They have leather hides coming in various colors from sky blue to night black for stealth, or every shade of gray. They can be domesticated and used as flying mounts capable of flying hundreds of miles in a day and still be ready to fight when they arrive.
They can be domesticated? My darlings, they were made simply with domestication. They were made to be mounts. Boom, they're already domesticated. What we have are ferals who must be tamed.
Okay, let me look at the 4 notable wyverns.
My goodness. Nobody thought they'd be getting a sneak peek into wyverns and witches.
This notable wyvern has more than all wyverns as a whole. This notable wyvern also has a lot. Haha, I like how it looks like. Let's see. Does it say who it's connected to? It doesn't. Anyways, but we have like lots of pictures of this one wyvern.
With one might assume Selena.
And then we just have a little drawing of this wyvern, and then another one. Anyway. Oh, a dead one.
Oh, a dead one. Nice. Okay.
Skin color, sky blue. First seen, hour 5.
Sky blue
last seen.
means literally nothing.
Yeah.
Sky blue?
Alliances,
have you seen this guy?
Astro and Blackbeak. Is that the 13? Anyway. Although she is not named in hour 5.
She doesn't even get named.
Whatever. Who gives a shit? Yeah. He is described as being large and ferocious, but is beaten by Maul and Blackbeak and Abraxas. And then he has some
Abraxas? Sounds like that's from House of Dragons. All right.
Oh, Abraxas displays intelligence far beyond other wyverns. Abraxas loves wildflowers. He is often referred to as warm by Manon as an affectionate term. He was inspired by a bait dog saved by a friend of Sarah's. What's the respect? What's the respect on the author's name? Saved by Sarah. Saved by Maas.
I don't call her Maas, but I do call her Maas.
I think we call her Maas because that's how we were taught to before the authors. But also everyone calls her Sarah. Oh, SMJ. It's like, no. Maas.
Maas? If I'm getting formal, Sarah Maas. I never say the J.
Hey, you just did it!
Not in her name.
Anyway, enough of the tangent.
Enough with the tangent. That took like half of the video so far. This is going to be a long one, actually. So anyways, they went into hiding, though many more of them live in the ruined and dark places of the world, content with their wickedness. But dang, he's like Alexa. That's what this is. That's what Mort is. He's like Siri. But I suspect that when the yellow legs learn of their matron's death, they will muster the Blackbeaks and the Blue Bloods and demand answers from the king. And you will be fortunate if they do not come on their brooms and drag you into it. She grimaced. I hope you're wrong, because that would be so annoying for me specifically. Mort's brows lowered slightly. So do I. Selena spent an hour in the tomb reading through the riddle on the wall, puzzling over Yellowleg's words. Weird keys, weird gates, ellipsis. It was all so strange, so incomprehensible, and terrifying. And if the king had them, if he even had one ellipsis. Selena shuddered. When staring at the riddle gave her no further answers because she just stared at the words and her brain did not brain. Selena trudged...
It did not say her brain did not brain.
No, it did not. Selena trudged back to her room for a much-needed nap. At least she'd finally discovered a possible source of the king's power. But she still needed to learn more. And then the real question, what was the king planning to do with the keys that he had not already done? Raise army to conquer the entire planet? I don't know. That's literally, we don't know. We don't know.
I guess
we don't really know his motivations at all. He's just the vague villain called the king. She had a feeling she didn't want to know. Actually, Selena, we already knew he didn't want to know because you don't care. But the library catacombs might contain the answer to the most horrible of questions. There was a book she could use to gain access to the answer. A book that might have the unlocking spell she was looking for. And she knew that the Walking Dead would find her the moment she began looking for it.
Because it walks around her.
Halfway up to her room, all plans of a nap vanished because it walks around.
It's called The Walking Dead, ain't it?
Yeah. As Selena turned back around and went to retrieve Damaris and every other ancient blade she could carry. He shouldn't be here. He was only asking for trouble, another fight that might wind up tearing the castle in two. And if Selena attacked him again, Kael knew with absolute certainty that he'd let her kill him if she really wanted. He didn't know. Don't worry, I won't keep talking this for him.
Know.
He can talk like a dude bro, but his narration won't inflict that upon everyone. He didn't even know what he'd say to her, but he had to say something, if only to end the silence and the tension that kept him awake night after night and prevented him from focusing on his duties. That's been going on for a long time, pal. She wasn't in her rooms, but he went in anyway. All right, another red flag. Another red flag.
Let's just invade your personal space. Hey, she's not here to say no. What, remember?
Yeah, it's fine. I can just walk in. Bing. Red flags. Not even mixed messages, just red flags. It was as messy as Dorian's and covered in papers and books. Just like Dorian's. She must be learning her style from him.
Oh, have you considered possibly that she has her own personality that isn't reflected?
It didn't say that.
That isn't oh, really?
It said messy like Dorian's and covered in books and papers.
Okay.
He might have turned away, but he had not seen the He might have turned away had he not seen the strange symbols written on everything. Symbols that reminded him. He would have turned away if he hadn't seen the thing that was literally on everything staring right at him. But he saw that.
And he was like, I'm beginning to think there's something I should look at here.
Yeah. Maybe I should investigate this madness. Symbols that reminded him of the mark he'd seen burn on her forehead at the duel. He'd somehow forgotten about it in the months that had gone by, just like he forgot about his guilt over killing Cain. I almost said Kael. Was it ellipsis? Was it something connected to her past? Now everything's going to be about her past to him. Glancing over his shoulder, listening for any sign of Philippa or Selena, He rifled through the documents. Just scribbles, M-dash drawings of the symbols, and random underlined words. Perhaps they were no more than doodles. He tried to tell himself, because everyone in this book is dense. He was about to turn away when he caught sight of a document peeking out from a stack of books. It was written in careful calligraphy and signed by multiple people. Easing it out from under the book, he's a real snooper now. Kale picked up the thick paper and read.
If any of this is important, it's like, Selena, it seems like she's so untrusting that she would want to hide anything important away.
No, but who would ever dare look in her room when she's not there? Because why would they ever go in there when she's not there? They should be looking for her.
Because servants, Beth. And also she lives in a king. The king could just be like, nah, love.
I don't trust this spy.
Let's
Go
inspect
her rooms. Yes. Literally, yeah. Once again, she's not... We don't actually see evidence of her being all that great at anything related to, like, sneakiness.
Mm-hmm.
The world dropped from beneath his feet.
Literally.
It was Selena's will, which we've never heard about nor seen before. Signed 2 days before Nehemiah's death. And she'd given everything. M-dash. Every last copper. M-dash.
To him.
To him.
Great, now he has a reason to kill her.
Great. Literally, why is this happening? Literally, why? What is this adding to the story? Now, you can't allow things to happen that don't add to the story. That's okay. You can totally have other things. But like this is meant to be important when you're having something like that happen. You don't have someone just like find, oh, the person I've been fighting with, now I found her will, and she's
she
giving
loves
everything to me?
I'm going to make up to her. It's time to make up. It's time to make up.
His throat tightened as he stared at the sum and the list of assets, including an apartment in a warehouse in the slums and all the wealth inside. So apparently she does have savings too somewhere? Also, let me tell you, that apartment in a warehouse in the slums with wealth, they ain't got wealth inside.
Oh, yeah. Let's just say it's empty. If Selena's so good, she should just run. Not do this BS and just get out of that one.
And she had signed it all to him with only one request, that he consider giving some of it to Philippa.
What, you gonna give some to Philippa herself?
I'm not going to change it. I mean, you know what? So true. Why don't she just give some of it to Philippa?
Yeah. Give it possibly some to Philippa.
Because she can't write that complex of a document, as it turns out. It takes too many legalese. I'm not going to change it. He whirled, finding her leaning against the doorframe, her arms crossed. Though the position was so familiar, her face was cold, blank. He let the document slip from his fingers. The list of noble houses in his pockets became leaden. What if he'd been jumping to conclusions?
Well, first off, you have...
He jumped to the conclusion that he was jumping to conclusions.
First off, you have. Second off, why is a will making you be considerate? Lots of people have wills. You should consider the fact that she knows about a will and can apparently write one her own. Could lead to her having some more education in her youth. Yes, she was raised by whatever the hell his name is. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Who cares?
Arbovirus is what I'll call him from now on.
Arbovirus?
Arbovirus. Mm-hmm. Oh, perhaps the song wasn't actually a dirge of Terracin. Maybe it had been another language he'd never heard of. Or another language you had heard of, and also don't know. She watched him like a cat. It would be too much trouble to bother changing it. Literally, no, it wouldn't. She went on. She wore a beautiful, ancient-looking blade at her side, along with a few daggers and scars he'd never seen before. I added the scars. Where had she gotten them?
I would have believed that. I was about to say, oh, so what skin is she showing this time?
There were so many words trying to work their way out of him that he couldn't speak at all. All of the money, M-dash, she'd left everything to him. Left it to him because of what she'd felt for him, ellipsis. Even Dorian had seen it from the start.
Seen what from the start? What she felt
the
for him?
chemistry between them, apparently. At least now, she said, pushing off the doorframe and turning away, when the king sacks you for being so damn lousy at your job, you'll have something to fall back on.
Once I'm
if
dead.
She's dead. Selena, do you know how a will works?
What, is this also a trust fund?
He couldn't breathe. She hadn't just done it out of generosity, but rather because she knew that if he ever lost his position, he'd have to consider going back to Aneliel. Dude, I don't think she knows everything you think she knows. That's in your head. To his father's money. And that it'd kill part of him to do that. Heaven forbid he, just find some other job and not go back to his family's money. I mean, supposedly, he should have a decent resume.
He couldn't do private security, though. And besides, if they sack him, I think they'd probably sack him without a reference.
That's why he's got to quit with a good reference. But she'd have to be dead for him to see that money.
Yeah, that's why you do something, like you're like, they're going to fire me over this, resign before they can get to it.
Nah. Yeah. Verifiably dead, and not a traitor to the crown either, M-. If she died a traitor, then all her assets had to go to the king. Convenient.
See, now this way you can just call anyone a traitor.
Literally.
To steal the assets.
Yeah. That's really why the king wanted her to go kill all those guys in the beginning of the book. He needed their assets. He also apparently needed Archer's assets.
Oh, he needed his assets, all right.
Well, he needed him dead too, though, Tia. Remember.
That's true. Well, taxidermy.
The only assets he can get are physical.
Taxidermy.
Well, that's still a physical asset.
Taxidermy. I have a solution. I have a solution you may not like. It involves taxidermy.
And the only way she'd die a traitor would be for her to do what he feared. Is that really the only way? My dude, there are many ways to die a traitor. Ally with this secret organization. Find Aelin Galathinius and return to Terrasen.
He's dumber than a box of rocks.
He's dumber than a snicker. Than a snickerdoodle. That was not.
Dumber than a snickle.
Thicker than a snicker is what I was thinking of.
Thicker than a snickle, heavy like a Chevy.
This was a hint that she had no intention of doing that. She had no plans to reclaim her lost title and posed no threat to Adderland or Dorian. Oh, he'd been wrong. Yet again, he'd been wrong. He really dodged a bullet on that one.
Stupid.
Get out of my chambers, she said from the foyer before striding into the gaming room and slamming the door behind her. She gets a whole gaming room.
Remember, it had
quarters?
The pool table.
Whoa, I don't remember that. He hadn't wept when Nehemia died, because he didn't really care, or when he'd thrown Selena into the dungeons, because he'd been too tired, or even when she'd returned with Graves' head, because he'd been too bored out of his mind from the meeting. Utterly
Did it really say that?
From the woman he had grown to love so fiercely.
Is that what it really said?
No, every time I did an exposition on why he hadn't cried for that specific situation, that was just me.
You know, there was only one that I doubted.
Which one?
I don't remember. I believe the tired one. Probably the one where he was bored out of his mind.
The one he's bored out of his mind. Yeah, that's more of a Dorian, I guess. Utterly different from the woman he'd grown to love so fiercely. But when Kale walked out, leaving the damning will behind him, he didn't even make it to his own room. He barely made it into an empty broom closet before the sobs hit.
Before he had his wiggly tails.
Oh, his wiggly tears, they're coming for you. Watch out. All right.
My wiggly. Thank goodness we're not reading the next book because the goalie's trying to hype us up for it were targeting me specifically, me, the dragon lover, with these paragraph owning wyvern characters. That would have just been a terrible disappointment. I would have been like, we have to read. You want to see dragons? We have to read a 9-book series, Sex.
We have to read.
We have to read the first book of a 9-book series. I won't make you read the rest. Anyway, pity that what's her name is actually dead. I think her wiggly head should go back on her wiggly body, and her yellow legs should come back.
But not her wiggly yellow legs or her yellow wiggly legs.
My yellow wiggly legs.
It's like when you would draw, you know that way of like drawing a chicken where it's like a story about a pond with fish jumping out. Anyways, the chicken legs coming down from the pond, wiggly chicken legs, let me tell you. Those were some wiggly legs when I draw them.
Wiggly legs.
My takeaways from this chapter, I feel like, as has been the case for a lot of part 2, there hasn't been a whole lot that's made me gone, oh, here's something that's more bad than greater heights than we already knew, deeper lows. It's all just kind of been like the same continuous, like this is Maas's writing. Nah. The will thing, it doesn't really make sense. Like, again, it's so much off again, on again, off again, on again, which I've said in previous chapters. I don't like that. It's here again.
Also with that.
No, annoying.
Also, they never brought up this will.
Right, they never brought it up.
Before it became relevant.
Again, yeah, once again. It doesn't get brought up before it's relevant. We could have seen her do something with this will. We could have seen her talking to Nehemia about it, but it wasn't important.
And even if she was like being sneaky to be like, it's just a will. Oh, I have like an important dog. Like not connecting it to Kayala. But she was like, I have a dangerous line of walk. I want to have a will or something like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not that dangerous the way she cuts through everybody.
Oh, yeah. And she could have said, I want to make sure that Philippa is taken care of because she's been so good to me. I want her taken care of if I die, Except she wanted because she doesn't think about Philippa. Philippa means nothing.
As a offhand of give some to Philippa.
Yeah. At the end, she's like, oh, yeah, there's that other person who I sometimes tell to do stuff for me, and she's, like, on top of things, and she makes my life so much easier, and I never think about her. Maybe help her if you want, but no biggie. Anyways, so those are our takeaways. Would like to know your takeaways. Hopefully it's, I don't know. I was going to say hopefully it's agreeing with us, but it doesn't matter if you agree with us.
Yeah, if you disagree, hopefully you say something.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah.